Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I'll turn off the music. What is up? What is up? Let me get you guys pulled up here. Decided to go live. I am just chilling today, pretty much. I got a couple hours. Got a couple hours of free time. Thought about making a video on how I edit YouTube videos or stuff like that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. Or if you guys want to talk trucking, let me know. I'm just hanging out today pretty much. Nothing too wild, nothing too crazy. I am going to be doing stuff on my main monitor, so if I get sidetracked and I can't get your comment as soon as you leave it. Now, if you're watching this as the recording of this, obviously I can't do things live for you because it'll be a recording. So, I hit a button. What do I do? But nevertheless, come hang out. I am going to start posting shorts on the channel of my longer format videos. So if you don't want to watch them, you don't have to. But if you do, I'd really appreciate it. They're going to be broken down into 1 minute a piece. I might do 3 minutes, but that'll be the max. I'm going to start syndicating to TikTok, getting an audience over there, and of course growing YouTube off of that. So that'll be the goal. Anybody, anywhere. Nobody's hopped in yet. As far as Amazon, haven't been doing Amazon at all. I've been working on side projects that I have. And yeah, I mean, that's about all I've been doing. I've been working on the video game. I know my dog's going to bark like crazy. Lulu, no. Lulu, do you want sprayed? Where's my bottle at? She doesn't like to behave, so she gets the bottle. That's right, you better sit back down. Anybody, anywhere. Oh, wait. Why is it unlisted? That was weird. So if you're just joining me, privacy was set to unlisted for whatever reason. So, yeah. I've basically been sitting here for 4 minutes by myself, and I'm like, man, nobody's popping in. What's going on? So, that's the thing. So if you're watching this, the recorded version, just ignore the first 4 or 5 minutes. Again, if you're joining, well, nobody's joined yet, but I'm going to be sidetracked, so got some stuff going on. Anybody, anywhere. Testing out the ultra low latency, so it should be like instant. Got my boy Boba Fett chilling. Oh man, tired. Come on in, come on in. We're just hanging out. Waiting for some people to join here. Oh, man. I need to get some coffee in a moment. Get going here. A little tired, a little tired. How's y'all's day going? How's the week been? I know it's Friday. Is anybody planning on running over the weekend? What's everybody's plans? What's going on? Again, I'm gonna start I'm gonna start uploading. I'm gonna start uploading shorts of longer videos, and if you've already seen the video, you can ignore it. It's just to reach the audience that is more watching shorts than they are long-term video, or longer format video, I should say. So if you start seeing me upload a lot more shorts, it's just the video's broken down. I want to run if I can find a load this weekend. Yeah, it's always good if you can find a load, but DAT on the weekends is more, obviously factories. A lot of factories aren't 7 days a week. A lot of them are, though. So just keep looking. I'm sure you can find a load somewhere. And if you don't, then, I mean, I used to use DAT to basically find something for the next Monday, because they'll usually post Monday and Tuesday, and just spread your week out that way if you're doing DAT. What's everybody doing? Everybody's coming in. There we go. Look at my stream health. Everything looks clear. Looks to be okay. Stream is healthy. Oh yeah. Amazon, in my experience, on the weekends is the best time to run Amazon Relay. Okay. I would recommend Monday through Friday, DAT, Friday night, Saturday night, and then probably not Sunday night because you'll have to prepare for Monday. But Sunday night's some good loads too. That's when I made the most with Amazon Relay. That was when I sound low, really. Let me see. Maybe it's in the settings here. Let me turn up my gain. If I can see it. Test. Whoa. Test. Okay. I turned it up a little bit. I don't want to be too loud. Is your volume turned all the way up? Like right now on my volume, like I'm in the red, so usually that's pretty loud. Let me know how that sounds. Good. Okay. I'll leave it there then. So these Blue Yeti mics, that's what I have, is this Blue Yeti mic. The dildo mic, if you will. That's what my girlfriend calls it. Its settings are super weird. But also I have OBS settings, so that's why. Man, my desk is dusty. Holy crap. But yeah, just hanging out. What's everybody doing? I might turn on some music in a moment. I can look up Amazon rates if you really want to. I'm going to turn on just some copyright music real quick. I don't know what's in this playlist. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'll turn it down on OBS. Just have some background noise. Again, I have no idea what's in this playlist, so I don't like the It's pretty upbeat. I ran Amazon for a week and my score is low because of app usage. How can I fix that? So basically, you're going to have to use the app. And by that, I mean you're going to... So what I did is I would pull Amazon up. I would have it running like I was using their app for navigation and everything. And then I would leave it running in my phone's background and not swipe it away, and then pull up like Waze or use your Garmin, whatever you're using. That's the best way. If you're not using your phone and you're using your Garmin, leave your phone on and just let it run and keep it plugged up in the truck. That's your main basic way. Hang on just a second. But that's how I kept my app usage up. It's always been 100 because I just left it. If I used my phone before I got my Garmin, I would leave it in the background running. I would go ahead and hit start, and it would pull up the GPS, and I would just leave my phone plugged up, and then I would put it over here, and I'd pull up the other navigation, Google Maps, whatever you're using. And I gotta submit paperwork for this load. I forgot to do that. I'll do that here in a second. I'm getting my truck on Monday, and my insurance starts on Monday. Hopefully my authority will become active shortly after. Hopefully it does. It takes 21 business days. Just remember that. And hang on just a second. Got to deal with this. Just a second. Mid-thought. Gosh, this is annoying, man. Okay. But hopefully it does for you. But make sure you have all your ducks in a row, if you will. Have a strategy going in. Like I was saying earlier, the best time to do Amazon Relay, if you're going to be doing that, is on the weekends, like tonight, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and then you could take off Monday. But I would recommend Friday and Saturday night for sure. What the? Just a second. Okay, it's done. Watching the safety videos helps the score. I don't think so. I've never heard that, and I've never done that. But back to the question from 5-Star Logistics. Oh yeah, Richie. They definitely. That's why I made that video. Just keep saving, man. Don't get into that trap of renting, because yeah, you can make money, but your chances of making, in the top % of the truckers are not as high as you think. Is it worth it? I would not. No, personally. You can watch my last video if you missed it. I found a $33,000 truck. That's exactly the loan that I took out, personal loan, and my payment was $653 a month. 70 grand, man. That payment's going to be it's going to be up there. And you're paying the price for a semi, probably 70 grand. It's going to have like 250,000 miles, same that mine has, and it's 40 grand. Well, I didn't use the whole 33 on it, but I bought mine for 23. But hell no, 70 grand. I'd miss that. But 5-Star, have a business plan going in. Definitely, I would do DAT and watch my previous. I got tons of videos, man. My last live. I went over it in depth. Good Lord. I'd do DAT Monday through Friday. I would do Amazon Friday night, Saturday night. That's what I would do. You're going to make the most money with Amazon Relay on the weekends because nobody wants to run. And most of the runs that they do, the Amazons are open. They don't have a gate, because if they did, they wouldn't be able to do it. And they would have to return too many and pay out for that. But that's what I would do if I was starting again. DAT 5 days, Amazon on weekends. Oh, 100%. It's more profitable OTR, but you need to understand that there's two different OTRs, okay? A lot of people just throw it into the same. A lot of people call it regional and OTR. They're both OTR. Regional is short haul OTR, and there's long haul OTR. Okay, a lot of people think that long haul OTR pays more, but if you run the numbers, it actually doesn't, okay? Regionals, after expenses and everything, and after you run your costs, regional most of the time is the best fit for a lot of people, not only because they're not so far from home if something was to happen, but also is that your profit's going to be more because there's not as many miles. You see what I'm saying? But if the numbers work out, yes, you can make money long haul as well, but it's more profitable with semi. Do you recommend post truck or just booking loads on Amazon? Man, I have, like now, especially where they did the recent postal truck change, it's even more so. A lot of people are getting into post truck, and I have been doing post truck since I started, man. It's not hard to figure out once you really start getting into it, and I have tons of videos on it. My most viewed video was stop taking, and then it pointed up to the number. It's almost at 20K views. That's like my most viewed. For whatever reason, it blew up, and the others didn't. But in there, I talk about you need to stop hitting the book button, and you need to start using post truck, not only because you get paid out the next day, usually if you do post truck, but also because you're going to get paid more. And that is so true today, because they made that change where if you post your truck, you're going to get the next post truck order's number, which is insane to me. Do you dispatch training? I do not. I'm not dispatching, Mark. I've thought about it, but honestly, with Boxtrucks, I mean, I would have to do it for semi, because I wouldn't charge more than 7% for Boxtrucks. And even that's high. That's what I pay my dispatching company that I dispatched with. There's not enough. I don't want to say there's enough money in it, but there's really not. semi just outweighs box trucks like tenfold, dispatching wise. So, I mean, maybe I might get more customers box truck and it would equal out, but man, it would be hard to just see 7% of a $500-600 load. You know what I'm saying? It would be money, but DAT would be $170 a month. You know, to get real time postings. So I would just like I said, 7% would be the max that's the max that I was willing to pay. I really wanted 5% for box truck, but 7% would be the max because you also got to factor in your 3% factoring. Usually is 3%, 2 to 3%. So you're talking 10% of your overall pie chart going out of your pocket. Okay. Think of everything as a pie chart. Expenses, diesel, food, all that stuff. 10% is going straight out of that load to two different sources. Is there any money in working with the cargo van? Yeah, there is, especially in my area in like Louisville, Kentucky. Man, there's so much expedite work from like western to eastern Kentucky that it's a really good area. So I would say you need to ask around and you need to see what a lot of stuff is moving in your area. My area is a lot of cargo vans, expedite, and some box trucks, not as many as semis. There's a lot of flatbed semis around my area because of lumber, brick, a lot of home building supplies, if you will, coming out of my area. What would I charge for 18-wheeler? I have no idea, man. I mean, no idea. I don't know. See, I've thought about doing dispatching, but I haven't done extensive research on it. So after I did the research, I would come up with what I feel like I would be valued as and what I would be fair to the trucking company. You see what I'm saying? So if I was to go into that, I would have to do more research is what I'll say to that. What I charge to 18-wheelers. What factoring company do you prefer? I used RTS. They're the most known and probably the most used. That music sounds really loud to me for whatever reason. Give me just a second. I gotta turn that down. Okay. That was really loud for my ears. It probably wasn't loud for you guys, but for me it was loud. But RTS is what I used. I mean, they're one of the most known, and they have a very good app. It's like you can literally take the DOT number, copy and paste it over, and see if it's a good factoring company or not. They will not factor with certain companies because they've been done wrong by them in the past. So you don't want to do business with that company most of the time if they've not paid RTS. Does anyone get accepted with Amazon Relay? I think so, especially new carriers. But if you're a DOT number that has bad history, I don't think so. Or if you don't meet their insurance requirements, which are usually the industry standards. But yes, usually new carriers do. Now, I don't know if they carried through with the change because right before peak on their website, they posted that new carriers were going to start becoming restricted and wouldn't be able to see certain loads until like 3 weeks or something like that. But I don't know if they went through with that because it was right before peak, and then peak happened and it must have got crazy and they're like, we can't do that. So I don't know if that happened, but I did see that on their website when I hopped on the load board. I was like, it shouldn't affect me, but that's a weird change. And I talked about it in one of my old videos, but I guess it never happened. Oh, my back. Popping and cracking. What are your guys' year goals? I know the new year just passed, this month, so You guys have any goals for the year? Mine is to get back in shape, get some lean muscle going. I used to be in phenomenal shape when I played sports. Do you have to get 2 million aggregate? You do, yes. I'm pretty sure I had to, so I'm pretty sure you do. And I don't know if any of you follow WJ's World. I think I can't remember exactly how to like spell it out, but his truck burned up and his insurance is apparently only paying half of what his truck is worth. So make sure, man, insurance is so important. Make sure you go over your insurance and you put in the actual number the truck is worth. Especially if you take out a loan for 70 grand. If you only put your value at your truck at 30 grand and like say you got in an accident like I did and they don't pay out the 70 grand, they pay out 30, man, you're going to be screwed for a few years. This might be a stupid question, but is a 26-foot box truck a total of 26 foot or just the box 26? The box is 26. Pretty sure. That box truck is waiting on parts. I've been waiting on that box truck for, gosh, I've been waiting to get that back for 2 months now. Something like that. So, and I texted my mechanic yesterday. I said, has the parts come in yet? Any updates? He said, still waiting. So, like, I'm sitting here like, am I ever going to get it back? You know what I'm saying? So just know if you get in an accident or your truck, anything happens, apparently parts straight from the dealership are still in short supply. So, and do I also have to get trailer replacement of 50,000 with a box truck? No, because the box truck is one they rent. I'm not sure. Norris Davenport. They rent. I'm not sure what you mean. But 50,000. Your box truck's one entity. It's one. It's not a truck and trailer. Okay, you're not a semi tractor trailer. You're one truck. Hi. Please tell which other services I use to find job for your car, for my truck. I'm assuming you're from, is that Russian? I'm not sure. But what services do I use to find jobs? I mean, you can do pallets, pick up factory pallets. You can, so if you guys know about the liquidation services there are, such as Amazon liquidating return pallets to companies and people will go, they're like auctions. What I did is I went to a Facebook group of those in my area and I asked if they could use some delivery services and have the customer pay me like $100 to drive, 20, 30, maximum 40 miles, Russia, Moscow. Nice. When I rent, do you have to put your company name on the side door? Yes. A lot of, and I hope you've watched my recent video of 3 ways to find a box truck, because I would recommend, if you can, here's my thing. What's up? I don't know how to say your name. I can't read Russian, but I noticed the characters and I was like, that has to be Russia. But as for Richie, here's my take on renting real quick. And I got a comment, like this morning I woke up and had a comment saying that derating a box truck can take a long time. Don't know how it's done. So basically you're going to have to assign your box truck a new VIN number and it's going to have to be derated from 33 to 26 or whatever number it is. At your DMV most of the time. let me give Richie this advice, and hopefully this will help more people than Richie. And my opinion is very different from everybody else. Everybody's like, oh man, you can't finance a truck. You can't, truck prices are too high. You can't buy one. Rent a truck, okay? My first experience renting, and this was before the whole box truck hype, was $2,100 a week, 12 cents per mile, and then up to 1,000 miles and 32 cents a mile after that. And if you try to get work done to the truck, it usually takes forever, or they just don't do it and they give you another truck. So, okay. Would you rather pay $2,100 a week? Let's say it's $600 a week. Or would you rather pay $600 or have a truck bought outright, but would you rather pay $600 a month or $600 a week? But also, my recommendation is to stay wherever you're at, keep saving money. Maybe it's not your time to jump into the business. And I had a comment this morning saying that maybe be more positive. Oh man, it ran all over me. Be more positive and quit discouraging people. Maybe some people can't finance a truck. So people have gotten so soft that it's not being positive, telling the truth instead of you failing long term. Okay? That was my response to that comment. Oh my God. Be more positive. Like, why wouldn't you just stay where you're at, keep saving your money, instead of jumping into something and not having a safety net on top of, say you fail within the first week. You're left without a boat to float on. You see what I'm saying? That's my whole take on that. Like, oh man, that comment ran over me. No, Mark, we're talking about $600 a week renting versus owning $600 a month. That's what we're talking about. But I see what you're saying. $600 a week, pay it off faster if you financed. I see what you're saying. But we're talking about $600 a week renting and not owning at all, plus per mile costs over $600 a month financing a truck. But I would recommend, no problem, Richie. I would recommend stay where you're at, stack your money. Once you have, I would say have 50 grand reserve money, honestly, after I had my crash and stuff. Have 50 grand in the back pocket after you buy a truck. If it takes another year or two for you to start, trucking ain't going nowhere, man. You're not missing out on anything. I'd rather you succeed than jump into it like many do and end up failing within your first 6 months. But for the gentleman in Russia, there's so many avenues you can there's so many things you can do with a box truck. You can move furniture for people. You can advertise on Facebook that you are a box truck company that's looking for work, moving things, moving resold pallets, going and getting free pallets and selling those to reclaim pallet companies. So many things you can do. Message retracted. Do you practice to get loads from dispatchers? I'm not sure what you mean. Basically, so I'm assuming you mean get loads from brokers, like talking to brokers and negotiating. But basically, the practice I got was just doing it, and I had some experience selling things in the past, so I had that negotiating experience. So a lot of people jumping in this don't have negotiating experience. They aren't used to selling themselves. So they're going to get ran over most of the time, but that's a skill that you'll build over time after you start. But I would recommend taking it or a course or something on negotiating and selling yourself, and having some sort of experience is the best. No problem. I understand. I can decipher most of the time. What is a good ELD? I used Keep Trucking, but I would not use them now. I would not use Keep Trucking now. Gosh, what is that ELD called that my mentor uses? She's a hot shot flatbed runner, and she has like 4 or 5 trucks now. What is that ELD she uses? I'll have to... Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Oh, my nose is itching. Give me just a second. Just a second. What is playing, first off? Hold up. Give me just a second so I can find what ELD she uses. It's probably in my messages somewhere. Gosh. So many messages. I don't recommend keep trucking, but I'm still looking. While I'm looking. Garmin, I've heard it's free. That's not what she uses, but I don't know about that. So I'm not 100% on Garmin, but she doesn't use the Garmin one. I don't think so, Andrea. I don't think you do. Because you're owner-operator. I would ask, but I did not. I think it depends on your state's laws. So look up your state and see if you do. But I don't think so. I didn't. So I'm from Las Vegas. Do you charge people to look at your low board from the city they live in? I'd love to know. So I'm split on that. I don't want to put a paywall behind it, but then again, you know, I am paying insurance to view the low board, and that is a high cost, but I don't want to do that. Today I'm just basically chilling out. But what low board are you wanting to look at? Because I no longer have DAT because of the direct customers I've built up. What is wrong with the keep trucking ELD? It's just too much, and you'll find a lot of problems, not only on YouTube, but other social media platforms. People having trouble out of their keep trucking app. I didn't have as much trouble as what I've seen online, but there's much better and cheaper options out there than keep trucking. How much time do I drive per week? I am completely out of the truck now, and I have drivers that drive for me now. So, and I've started a gaming development company, and that has been the chunk of my time, and YouTube. So I can look up Amazon for you. How much does it cost right now to start this business? So I started for under $5,000. That was my startup cost. It was like 47 something. And I have it's like my first video on my channel, if you want to watch it. That was 4 months ago. So, and since then, everything's blew up. Inflation's happened. Everything's blew up. So, watch my first video and you'll get my startup numbers and everything I paid for starting up. Those prices have probably changed, but there you go. Love the background, and I love Keep Trucking app. Works great. You know, it works great when it wants to, but there is, again, a much better, cheaper options. There's cheaper options. I know it's like $25 a month if you do the 300 annually with Keep Trucking, and believe it or not, there's cheaper options. You shouldn't have to pay annually for an ELD. There's a good one out there that my mentor uses. I can't find. I'll look for it again in a second, but she pays like, I think it's $50 one time just for the piece, and then it plugs right in. It's just, there's no cord going through your truck. There's nothing sticking on top. It's just, and it's directly connected to your phone. It's a little piece about this big, and it plugs right in. That's it. No big long cord going through your truck. Nothing hanging down. It's very nice. Do you have to stop at weigh stations with a box truck under 10K pounds? So here's my understanding. If you're working commercially, I believe you have to pull into weigh stations. It is a box truck, so you are working commercially. My dad drives a bread box truck, the Ford all-in-one. I can't remember what they call it exactly, but it's a box truck, and it's, you know, not dock height. He still has to pull into weigh stations, even though he's hauling bread. You know, so much weight, right? But you have a DLT number, you have to pull into a weigh station. That's how it is. Yep, just like Mark said. Hang on just a second, Richie. I will find it real quick. And the interesting thing is that my mentor has a CDL and everything, and she chose Hot Shot over semi flatbed, which is interesting. She has like 3 or 4 box trucks, Hot Shot rigs and setups. Jesus. I can't find the message. I'll have to find it later, man. I can't find it. Any commercial vehicle? New to your channel, you were suggested, Jayrena. I guess because I've been researching freight dispatching. Are you trying to become a freight dispatcher? I'm not a freight dispatcher, but I will say that make sure your numbers are right, and make sure I would honestly do semi-dispatching, because there's going to be not only more work, but you're going to make more. There might be, with the box truck craze, there might be a lot of work now, and it might make sense. But I personally wouldn't pay more than 7% if that's what I paid my dispatcher. Do you repair your truck by yourself if it is broken? If I can. But like that wreck I had, I mean, not only did the insurance company have to go through a mechanic, and they're going through my mechanic, but also I would have to pay for everything, and they're paying to have it fixed, even though it's taking forever. Contractor. Sacha. Yes, sir, I sure am. Awesome. And I might go into dispatching one day. I just don't know. Right now, I've shifted. You know, I'm going more toward being a business owner and not an owner operator. And I've started again that gaming development company, and that's a big learning. Oh my gosh, it's insane. And I feel like more and more kids are playing video games. You know, I played a little Game Boy Color when I was young, and my dad got me one. So it's like, not only is that future proofing my wealth, but also it's going to make tenfold what trucking can make with a tenth of the expenses. You see what I'm saying? How much you pay for truck insurance? I pay $2,300 a month. That's just one truck. An 09 truck was $2,300. It was $1,600, and then all of a sudden they upped it to $2,300. I asked why. I couldn't get a straight answer. Thank you, Jayrena. It takes a lot of hard work. Are you required to put your DOT and MC number in your truck? It has to be on your door. It has to be showing on the outside so they can pull up next to you and run it, or run it when you go through the weigh station. So, yes. No, Lulu. Lou. He's home. He's going in his house. You can't be barking at somebody. Do you insure your loads? That should be included in your insurance plan, called cargo insurance, and usually the industry standard is 100,000 USD over here. You drive in the snow often, right? Is it mandatory for you to carry chains? Could you do a video on how to put them on? So right now, again, I'm not driving. I'm no longer driving myself. I'm going more toward the business owner and not owner operator. But I've drove in the snow twice, and it depends on your state laws. If you have to have chains. I know, like in Colorado, in certain areas, you're required to stop and pull over and put chains on. But in my state, it's not a law. But man, coming back after that accident, driving back, going 15 miles an hour on a normal an hour 40 trip, man, chains would have been nice. There was semis jackknifed everywhere. It was awful. But I'll probably, if I ever drove again, I would never drive in the snow again if I could help it. That's just, it wouldn't be because I'm scared of it and I don't believe in my skills to drive in it. Other people, man, you got to worry about other people. That girl, I was sitting under a red light and she slid into me and just smacked right into me, man. Are we open the gaming company? PlayStation needs your help. PlayStation. Man, I used to be a diehard PlayStation when I was in high school and middle school and stuff. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, all those. And you just got to go to the PC side of things. You can still use a controller. It's just, man. Yeah, I bet. I'm attempting to learn Python. Nice. I've been learning Unreal Engine and C++. But I'm also hiring people, so I don't do all the work. I'm about to get some coffee in a minute. My eyes are getting... It's hot in here because it's like -8 outside, so I can't turn off the heat. And this computer and this light that's on my green screen right here, man, it's hot right now. And my eyes are getting very warm, and it makes me tired and want to nap. What do you guys think of the new, I don't know which way he is. This way? Nope, this way. What do you think of the new Boba Fett show? Has any of you watched it, or are you fans of the Star Wars series? I was not a fan of Star Wars for the longest time. And then I finally decided that I didn't like not knowing what people were talking about. So I took a day and just watched all of it. And man, what a story. The story is crazy. It's not nerd stuff. It's like the best story ever. It's insane. The plot is so good. What states is easy to find loads? Midwest, Pennsylvania. Oh man, Pennsylvania. There's loads all the time going to Pennsylvania. And they pay good. They pay very good. But Pennsylvania is one of those states that's a little bit harder to get out of sometimes. Responding to the woman. The lady. I'm just playing. Do you require to have or need liftgate? You need to have a liftgate, okay? I don't know where people are getting the idea or information that they do not need a liftgate for Amazon, but you know, it's better to have it than not have it when you need it. Okay? And I couldn't tell you how many times non-Amazon loads I have had to use my liftgate when it said I didn't have to use a liftgate. Like, man, I couldn't tell you how many times. At least 3 out of 5 times, okay? Just give you a ratio. If it's not dock to dock, getting a ton of comments right now. I'm going to have to make some coffee. My nose is itching. Somebody is coming. I don't know if you guys know about that little folklore saying, but my nose is itching to death, and I don't know if somebody's coming or not. And it usually turns out to be pretty true. What kind of loads do I take usually? When I drove and it was a box truck, it was general freight. Things on pallets, in boxes, or like Amazon freight boxes, packages, Gaylords. But I mean, you can haul furniture. You can do moving. You can haul basically whatever you can get in the box and secure it. You can haul. I have hauled a dirt bike before, okay? So, he strapped up to the wall and got paid very well. So, one dirt bike. Can you recommend any brokers that work with a... Hang on a second. Can you recommend any brokers that work with a new authority other than Circle Logistics, Landstar, and TQL? So, Circle Logistics, I do not think works with new authorities unless that's changed. I know when I first started, TQL would rarely work with me. My first 3 months in, Circle Logistics would. They told me 1 year, and Landstar told me 3 months. Landstar did. Otherwise, I would have had some. I'm talking cake loads. I'm talking, man. I could have got dedicated freight and everything that a guy that was through Landstar was looking for somebody close. And, oh, man. He told me, oh, you're not 3 months old. And I was like, you gotta be joking me. They were nice. But in terms of brokers that work with new authorities, not really. Watch my last, especially my last live, but watch my... Watch the update video I did, the 2022 Amazon post truck update, because in that I talk about, and maybe I need to make it a standalone video of what I would do if I was starting over. Okay, if they rear back and tell you that they don't work with new authorities, tell them what if you'll do it for $100 less. And obviously you don't want to do this all the time. It'll completely mess up the industry. Everybody will hate you. And you shouldn't do it all the time. But to get that first load and to start getting some loads on your DOT number and getting references, tell them that if you do it, I wouldn't tell them at the start. I would wait till after and then text them and be like, hey, give them updates about where their load is, what's going on. Hey, stopping for fuel. You may think it's tedious, but they'll appreciate that. Trust me. Especially if you're doing it for less and they get to keep more in their pocket. But at the end of it, when everything's gone smooth, do not mess it up. When everything's done, everything's gone smooth, ask them if you can use them as a reference, and they'll more than likely use you again in the future. And then, of course, you wouldn't ask for less. You wouldn't tell them you'll do it for less than what they are willing to pay for. You'll more than likely negotiate for more. But starting out, you may have to do that. A lot of people won't like that. A lot of people don't agree with that. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do to get started and get going. That's what I would do personally if I was restarting as an owner-operator. Man, this light is hot. Whew. No problem, 5-star. And you know, they may not still work with you, even if you say you'll do it for 100 less than what they have listed. They may still not. But, and of course, run your numbers, make sure you're still at least breaking even with fuel and everything from that load. I don't understand what these yum.ong things mean. Pretty sure they're advertising a site because I made a cryptocurrency video on what it would do for trucking. But I'm going to go ahead and look up Las Vegas for, and I really don't want to start just looking up things, but he did ask, so if he's still watching. I got some congestion. Okay. So there are, as of right now, 46 loads with the Las Vegas at 100-mile radius. And here's a decent $661.70 load. One pick, one drop. This is semi, though. Let's do Boxtruck. I'm not sure what equipment you're using, but here is Boxtruck. 45 results. Not good rates, but it's not the evening yet. They usually start popping about 6, 7 o'clock. This isn't really a good area, if you ask me. What city? I need a city state, but I don't want to start checking rates because I'm doing something on my main monitor as well. So I'll do 1, 2 more maybe. And then we might do it later if I'm still alive. I need city-state. 1 to 2 more. For free. But, you know, I'm making thumbnails and stuff on my main monitor, and I'm also talking to my team, so. And I'll do Richie since you, yeah. These are only 2 I'm doing for right now. Detroit, Michigan, you have 110 loads as of 3 p.m. EST. Here's a decent one, 567.96. Going from Brownstown, Michigan to Benzonia. 1 pick, 1 drop. Not bad. 254 miles though. I would probably want this rate to go up to like at least 250 a mile at least. And it maybe. And then I'll do Dallas. Dallas has 100 of 114, so 114 total, 26 foot. And awful rates. Awful. Actually garbage. Holy moly. Which again, it's only 3 p.m. EST, so wow. That's awful. Oh, my back. Oh, man. Anything else y'all have questions on that you can't find info on? I would recommend, honestly, and you know, this is kind of counterintuitive to myself because it'll take viewers away or whatever, but I would honestly start a YouTube channel, man. My first month monetized on YouTube, it took me 3 months to get 1,000 subs. And then my first full month monetized, I made enough to pay my rent bill. So, honestly, if I were you all, and because there's not a lot of information out there on trucking, and especially documenting your journey will gain you not only people looking to get information like I was. That's why I started my YouTube channel, because I couldn't find anything. Thanks, Cincinnati Certified. I like it myself. I had it as the Mandalorian for my last video. I just had my face over top of him and it was snowing around. But I could change it to that and show you that. And I might change it back because Boba Fett's out right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Change. Let me find him. Where is he at? There he is. Check this out. What do you think of that one? I love Mandalorian. Such a good show. Do I have any groups for truck owners and social media? I do not. I am a part of a lot of Facebook groups, though, because I can not only help out people there, but I can also build my audience here with that. But I have no group. I have this YouTube channel. I'm going to be building a Discord group where we're going to be kind of like a mastermind for like so much a month via YouTube membership. And then I've started uploading to my TikTok, just basically shorts of videos, long format videos I put on YouTube to hopefully gain an audience there, and of course push over here because there's so many people on TikTok. It's insane. Once you sign up for DAT load board, do you automatically get access to booking loads? You do. But again, I would say if you can afford it, go with the biggest package, $170, at least for your first month. So before you start, set aside $170. Get set up for that. At least 1 month. Because, and once you get that 1 month in, you'll be hooked on it, because until you can get away from the load board from building your customer base from doing loads that way. But you're going to be able to see things real time, those big, good, juicy loads popping up that you can take $100 less for and get that load even though you're new. Whereas the middle and the last package, it's going to take 30 minutes before you see what they see. Am I familiar with XPO contracts? I know you can get them, and I know you can do it, but I've also heard bad things about them. So, and I have tried that app, Mothership, and it really depends on your area. If you're in a rural area like me, you're not going to get anything for Mothership. Do I know anything about airport deliveries? I do not. I have never done an airport delivery. That's something I've never had or experienced. I might need to do some research on it and see if I can get anything from that and maybe make a video on it. But I personally have never had experience with that. See if I can get somebody on to maybe I can start interviewing people in trucking and do it live. Be sure to subscribe. I just had a light bulb go. That's how I come up with ideas, by the way. It's just, I usually write them down. Andrea, I might in a little bit, but I don't want to make this just a rate searching stream. On top of, I'm currently trying to do stuff on my main monitor while paying attention and answering questions. So it's kind of hard. Oh Lord, it's got volume. Why do people talk about getting a TWIC card? What's so cool about it? Just the extra load you'll be able to do with it. You'll be able to do loads that most people will not be able to do. So, you know. What is the actual time to get paid for cancellation? Or cancellation? Cancellation. 2 or 4 hours? I'm not sure, man. I've been canceled one time, and they said because I had just left my house that I would not be paid for it. You know, it was over $1,000 load, and I was pissed. So I don't know. I've never had a load where I get up there and it be canceled. They've always canceled when I usually hit the start button and I start having the app say that I'm coming. And a lot of people might not do that. A lot of people might not know that the people that are going there, going to the fulfillment center, I don't know if they're not hitting the go button where the Amazon GPS puts you on the map to the fulfillment center. That lets them know that you're on your way and they got a box truck coming. So, and that's why they always cancel when I just left the house. So, I don't know if people aren't doing that and they're, you know, I don't know. So I would suggest, as soon as you leave your house, hit the go button on the Amazon GPS, because that lets them know you're coming, and if they're going to cancel load, hopefully they cancel it as soon as you leave, or they see that you're coming. That way you don't get up there and you don't get canceled on. So I'm not 100% on the 2 to 4 hour thing. But I never got paid for a cancellation because they said I just left my house, and I was pissed. Alright, I'm going to go back to Boba Fett. Boba is the current star of the show at the moment. No problem, Cincinnati. But yeah, just future reference, just hit the have the Amazon GPS run as soon as you leave. That way that it lets them know you're coming. Which is weird. You would think that they would see that load's booked and they are going to have a box truck coming. You know, you would assume. Do you use OTR factoring? I do. I used RTS. Use RTS. And just so YouTube knows, this is not alcohol. If you're not from Kentucky, you might not know what this is. And it's also green, so the green screen is kind of... This is L8. This is not beer. So YouTube doesn't take this video down. You ever not get paid for a DAT load, and what score do you look for before booking with the company? I would say, well, first off, I use RTS, so they'll tell me if a company has a history of not paying or not, and 9 times out of 10 they won't let you factor with them. So I'll just ignore those companies. But if it has the 97 grade, always. I mean, like TQL, they always pay. But I'd say anything under 87, under 90, something like that, I might not look at a low. But a lot of companies only have a score, and they've never worked with anybody before, and it'd be a good paying load. And I mean, you can take that chance. You know what I'm saying? I was very sketched out on that. I would usually stick to companies that have booked or posted loads before. What do I do if the load is bigger or heavier than the truck is? Do you cancel delivery at all? Oh yeah. You don't want to be overweight. You do not want to be overweight. So I would 100%. If I got somewhere and I picked up a load and it said it was supposed to be, you know, say 10,000 pounds, and I get there, pick it up, and I go weigh myself, and a lot of people don't do it. They wait till they get at a weigh station, then they get a big ticket and a fine. But if I would go to the truck stop and weigh myself and it'd be more than what that says, not only if it's more and I'm not overweight, but it's more than what the rate con says, I'm going to be picking up that phone, I'm going to be getting paid more, or I'm telling them I'm taking it back. But also, it keeps you out of trouble. Do you know if Atlanta is a good / fast area getting good loads? Curtis, I don't think so. From what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing, Atlanta is getting very, I don't want to say saturated, but I would say that if you're in Atlanta and you start a trucking company, I would suggest you look for something going out of Atlanta, and you're going to have to stay out, just like Florida. Stay out of Atlanta for a while, make some really good money, and then come back. That's what I would suggest. That's just from what I've been seeing and hearing. Is there a requirement for hitting a certified weight scale? There is not, no. You do not have to at all. But it's worth the cost and rolling into your expenses for that load with your CPM to do that. Because not only if it weighs more than what they said, you can negotiate for more money, but also it's going to keep you out of trouble and getting a ticket when you hit a weight scale. So you don't want to do that. Do not want to do that. You want to do it right. How is the Houston market? I am looking for a truck right now for the Houston, Texas area. I know Texas, it really depends. It might just be like Atlanta. Get out of Texas, do a bunch of work, make a lot of money, come back to Texas. But there are also a lot of Texas to Texas loads, but they don't pay, you know, like you're going to make when you go out and go around and then back. I know Amazon rates for Texas, anywhere in Texas, are absolute trash. Awful. I know one of the next things I want to do this year is get LASIK. I'm so tired of glasses and I hate contacts. Ugh. And my back. I'm looking to go out OTR and back to my home state, Texas. Is LASIK safe? Oh yeah. It takes I think the whole procedure's like no more than 30 minutes. And it's from people that I know and have worked with in the past. They had it done and they're like, I wish I would have got it done sooner. And I'm like, man. But yeah, apparently it takes like 30 minutes max. Have I heard anything negative from drivers using Post Truck after the recent changes? Yes. So, the way the new post truck system works, and you want to go watch my update video, I don't know if you have or not, but the way it works is, let's say I post my truck for $1,000, right? And you have close to the same parameters as me that I've set, and you post yours for $800. How it works is, you're going to get you're going to get the load first, but they're going to give you my $1,000 pay, even though you posted your truck for $800. They go off the next highest posted post truck order. So you see how that kind of works. It's kind of sucky, because that's going to make people want to be like, well, okay, I want to post mine lower than the other dude, because I want his pay, but I want the load. So they're trying to make their market make itself go down. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to make you guys make the market go down by posting your truck lower and 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 lower. If I cancel a delivery as if it's heavy, do you pay any payments for cancelations, or get paid? I don't think so. I don't think you would get paid anything. You would just say, hopefully the truck stop's not too far from your area, and you might be able to negotiate with the broker that, well, okay, I can't deliver this load, it's too heavy. I'm going to need at least $200 for my time or whatever. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to force your way and get them to pay you anything. Yes, 100%. Go reefer. Like, it doesn't have to be the area. Just everywhere. Go reefer overdrive if you can. You'll not only have more consistent work, you'll have more work, because food is always going to need moved. Think about it. I mean, think about how much food you eat. Do you do factoring with Amazon? I do not. When I was doing Amazon, I was doing post truck even before the changes. I did only post truck, and if you did post a truck, you got paid the next day, so I didn't have to factor. Thanks for answers. No problem. Just had the extra time and might as well. I mean, it's always good to do these lives, because it shows me what people have questions about. You know what I'm saying? And then in turn, I could maybe make a video. And then that way, because when I was starting out, there was barely anybody making content for this stuff, especially educational content. You'll find a ton of creators making content about, and have a big thumbnail about, you know, I made 10 grand one load, and then they show they show them doing the load like a vlog style. That's okay, but like me, I like to find everything out I can research wise before I do something. And there was like 0 video content. I mean, there's tons of stuff you can read, but there's not a lot of videos, or there wasn't. What is a good factoring company? RTS. That's the one I use and never had a problem with. I try to avoid the people that boast about the gross earnings, because it is misleading. Sure, $8K for a week is good, but what is the true numbers after all your expenses? Yes. Yes. One thing you'll never see is those videos that say, you know, I made 10K one load. You'll never see them break down their costs. Won't happen. No problem. What you buying on the dip? Ethereum, Bitcoin. Ethereum, Bitcoin. Especially Ethereum. Because the video game I'm making, And Having Made is going to be able to sell in-game items for crypto. They are lying. It's 3 o'clock and I haven't ate anything again. Why do I do this to myself? I just thought of that. Last time I went live, it was like 3 o'clock and I hadn't ate anything either all day. I don't know why I do that to myself. You know what? Since it's snowing, I don't know. How about we do some Yoda? Let's do some Yoda. Everybody likes Yoda. Do some Yoda. What do you think about getting a steady run with Amazon? So, I made a post that to check your email that on the 19th of January, and they usually hold it out for a week or two for bids. You can get Amazon contracts if you check your email and you're already signed up for Amazon. I mean, that it's good because it'll be consistent most of the time, but they can still cancel loads on you. So again, I keep beating this record like a it's just, I would get out of Amazon. I mean, Amazon should be the weekend side gig. You know what I'm saying? DAT should be your main focus. Build up a customer base. That way you can get off of DAT and you can have a list that you go down and you can call instead of going to a low board. Your goal should be to get off a low board, get some dedicated lanes, or get people you can call from brokers and shippers you've worked with, or shippers and receivers you've worked with from DAT loads that you can call every day. And not only will you start getting dedicated freight because you've done so many loads for them, but you'll also have a list that you can go from instead of having to use a low board and pay that monthly fee. And then maybe Amazon Friday, Saturday night when nobody wants to run it and the rates are good. I'd love to get training on a reefer. Any suggestions where I can get training? I don't know. I maybe could find somebody and like bring them on a live or something and interview them if I can find somebody. Are you up to date on nodes like Strong Nodes and Thor, ETH blockchain? I have no idea what you're talking about. Where do you park your truck? At my house. Well, it's not here right now. You know, my truck is at the mechanic shop. Has been for 2 months waiting on parts. So, but I parked it at the end of the street. You know how streets have like an end and a dead end, and there's nothing over there, and there's no no parking thing over there. So I just park it over there and have had no trouble. And then I put like a sticker up in the window, and it says "Need moved?" ? And it has my cell number. That way, if they need it moved, I can move it. Can you run DAT without a pallet jack? You can, yes. I think DAT loads, I've only had to use my pallet jack. I had to use it when I had to use my Liftgate because most of the time they don't have like a fork truck or stuff and stuff like that, which happens a lot. But I would say just go ahead and get a pallet jack, man. Personally, I would say just go ahead and get a pallet jack. It's better to have something than not have it and need it. Facebook reefer group and then network. That could work. Man, why is my back hurting so bad? Man, if I could tell you all to invest in one thing one thing, it would be a good mattress, because I think that's why my back's getting bad. We need a new mattress. I need to buy one. Research those nodes. Oh crap, am I hitting my... Research those nodes. I'm doing my DD currently, but it seems like a nice passive income even during bear markets. Cool. It's cool. Might look into it. 5 time. How do you deal with tolls? Do you have an easy pass? Where I try to run, well, I'm not driving again right now, but where I tried to run, I always tried to avoid tolls if possible, as long as it didn't make the trip too much longer. But yeah, I just tried to avoid tolls altogether, but I don't have an easy pass or nothing like that. But if you're going to be on a toll road a lot, then, you know, go ahead and get an easy pass. Whatever's going to save you the most money, if it makes sense. That's what I would say. And I have a ton of comments all of a sudden, just a ton just flowed in on the YouTube, on the videos. What truck makes do I advise for delivery work? Any and all. All it matters is that it has a good long track record of maintenance history, and I mean that's really all that matters. A lot of people won't drive, like for example, they will not drive a max force engine, or they don't want a max force engine. My first truck was a max force engine. Max Force got sued for $135 million for their faulty engines. There was a mass recall. They should have had work done on it. My truck had a lengthy maintenance record. It had everything you could possibly want. Okay. So my suggestion is just find something that's been taken care of. And a good way to tell if it's a good truck or not is if they have the maintenance records and you see that something is continually being worked on, let's say every 2-3 months. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say. But yes, I do know that Ford, especially Ford, their engines do have a lot of problems, and I've watched breakdown videos where they break down the engine and show what's wrong with it, and Ford really needs to step up their engine making stuff. But again, it all depends on maintenance records. It all depends on what's been done to the truck. So. My dad, he does bread. He moves bread mainly. So, and he does local. He did do OTR. He drove for a big company, but he does local now. and bread's always needed. And he makes, I think gross he makes over 6 figures, but profit he makes like, you know, 60K a year, and he's fine with it. He doesn't need, you know, I mean, he's happy with that, and that's, I mean, that's good money. What's a good headset? Like headset in terms of driving? What's a good headset? I don't know. I used my I just simply used this and it worked great. My little AirPods. I use Google, you know, because I'm not a slave to Apple. But but I use my AirPods and they work fine. So I seen a company looking for box trucks without liftgate. You think that's worth the risk? What do you mean? You've seen companies looking for box trucks without a liftgate. I'll touch on that in just a moment, Richie. Give me just a second. Let me finish doing this real quick. What oils to use? It just depends on your engine and your manufacturer suggestions. So the whole Amazon with their whole own box truck stuff. Basically what that is they're preparing long term to cut out multiple contractors like me and you and everybody else. Which is why you see their rates dropping and dropping and dropping. So, and before everybody's like, no, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. There's tons of videos on what Amazon's goals are. Their goals are to become the biggest logistics company. So Amazon doesn't want to be unionized against, so they're going to hire a single contractor or multiple contractors, but those contractors are going to be DSPs, direct service partners. The DSP, let's say I got awarded the contract. You have to have $10,000 to start one. It might be more for Boxtrucks. Say you get awarded the contract. Well, just a second. Let me finish doing this. Okay. I would be awarded the contract. I would then hire drivers. And my drivers would drive their box trucks. And I would make money. That's basically why you're seeing Amazon trucks. When you can't afford a box truck, what do you think is a good rental rate? None. Don't rent. Save your money. Keep building your funds. Do not rent. That's all I got to say about that. Sorry, the video froze. What did you say about Amazon Boxtrucks? So Amazon Boxtrucks, basically they're going to start. You should be able to rewind, I think, right? But basically they're going to hire one single contractor who's going to then hire drivers to drive their box trucks, and they're going to do away with multiple separate trucking companies. I know you mentioned the last time we should probably start weaning off of Amazon little by little, but do you believe Post Truck is still dependable as it has been in the past? I don't see. I have been off Amazon, but when I did do Amazon, I did the Post Truck like all the time. That's all I did, and give me just a second. Gosh, trying to focus on like 3 different things at the same time and answer questions. Whew. Okay. If I was starting over, I'll just go to this. If I was starting over, here's what I would do. I would have probably signed up for Amazon, but I would have done it on the weekends. Specifically tonight, like Friday nights and Saturday nights. That's when you'll make the most amount of money. That's when you make the most amount of money at Amazon. So I'd only do Amazon on the weekends. Gosh, this is so hard multitasking. Give me just a second. Just a second, please. Okay. I would do DAT starting out, and people will say that new authorities can't get loads. Here's what I would do about that for at least the first little bit. I would call the broker. They say they don't work with you because you're not 3 months old, 6 months old, whatever. Say you'll do it for 100, 150 less. Do not do this all the time. You'll mess up the market. And there it'll go. So hang on. This is so hard to multitask right now. Okay. I would do TAT. I would undercut the price they have listed to get loads starting out 5 days a week. At least try to break even. And then on the weekends, do Amazon Postal Trucks. You can go ahead and set those up. Do it Friday night, Saturday night, and then start your week over. Take a break on Sunday. Start your week over if you're doing regional or local. But I would do OTR during the week if possible. If possible. Okay. But if you're currently doing, if you're doing Amazon full time right now and you're wanting to ease yourself off of there, yes, I would do Post Truck. I did Post Truck before the recent change, and I did Post Truck because not only would I get loads for more if nobody booked it, I would get it for what I post my truck for, but also because you get paid next day and you don't have to wait for the following week to get paid. So that's why I learned how to do post truck way back when. So essentially running like fans. I guess so. I mean, if you don't have to have a lift gate and they're wanting that and you have that, then it should be dock to dock, or maybe you have to have a pallet jack to move it to the back of the truck to get the forklift to get it off. I mean, you know, that would be, I would recommend getting a lift gate anyway. It's better to have one than not need one, and not, or need one and not have it. What are the benefits of having a TWIC card? You're going to get more loads. You're going to get more loads than people that don't have TWIC card. That's the most simplest explanation I can say about benefits of having a TWIC card. You're going to be able to do jobs that other people will not be able to do because they don't have that, essentially. I have a 26-foot box truck for rent in Cali. For rent or lease? Where can you get magnet signs done for your box truck? What I did is I just Google searched magnet customizable custom magnet car magnet sign, and I went with a random company that looked okay, and I got it, and it turned out great, and I put my logo on it, and I got the type, my DOT number, and all that stuff. So that's what I did. A thought to consider: a lift gate adds weight to your truck. That reduces the weight you can carry. Yes, but what happens if you get to, if not only can you get more loads, but what happens if you get to a place and you need it and you don't have it? You know, everything has a balance. Dock to dock freight, yes, but I can't tell you how many times I've done freight and they said I did not need a lift gate, and I ended up having to use my lift gate. Can't tell you how many times. Happens more than you would think, because a lot of brokers don't know for sure if it's dock to dock, believe it or not. What GPS do you use? I mean, I would say go with Garmin, but if you don't want to do that, I would use Waze, because Waze is pretty accurate. But she will take you on routes that are not hot. I would say get a Garmin because your box truck hot. But I used Waze and Google Maps because I would compare them. I would look it up on Waze, and then I would look it up on Google and make sure they were the same. And then if I was using like Amazon, I would look and see how different it was. Amazon runs to post offices most frequently. They do, but I have had to use... There's post offices that aren't dock. There's not a dock. So you have to use your lift gate. I've had to use my lift gate plenty of times with Amazon too. So while yes, most are, there are a lot that are not, because post offices are old. So... And sometimes you'll do a post office run and Amazon won't know. How are they going to know? Maybe the dock's down. Because when I ran for USPS, guess what? I went up there and the dock was down. So I had to use the lift gate on the contractor through USPS. Something to think about. And I went to that post office every day, 5 days a week. every day. And one day, their power went out. Had to use Liftgate. It happens. Something to think about. Just go ahead and get a Liftgate. I mean, you could, but most of the time, a lot of post office loads are paying more, I have noticed, than a lot of FC to DC or DC to DC loads that I've noticed personally. So it can depend on your. Sneeze. But I mean, you could do that, but I mean, you're leaving all that money on the table. And if you're posting your truck, especially, you can't do that. You can't pick, you know. How do you get USPS contracts? I worked for somebody with a contract, but I'm still not exactly sure how they got that contract. And they wouldn't tell me because I could underbid them and I would get it. I did look it up before and I couldn't find out how to get one. It says go to the USPS e-sourcing site. If you win a bid on a contract, USPS will contact you with further instructions. So I guess that's how you go to the USPS e-sourcing site. This is what it says. I'll just copy paste. It will not let me do that. That's exactly from Google. Did you get hotel every night? So it is actually illegal to sleep in your box truck if you do not have a sleeper in it. It is actually illegal. I don't know if you didn't know that, but it is actually illegal. So yes, you will have to sleep in a hotel if you're going OTR and you don't have a sleeper in your box truck. So there are companies out there that will modify box trucks and they will build you a sleeper. I would suggest, especially long term, going that route, but it is actually legal to sleep in your box truck without a sleeper or any truck. If you don't have a sleeper in your hotshot truck, it's illegal. Howdy, I work for Morgan Truck Bodies. Amazon just put in an order for 300 box trucks just 2 weeks ago. Yep. Just mark my words, everybody watching this right now. 5 years from now, Amazon is going to get worse and worse, and they're not going to be, I'm going to say 5 to... 5. We'll just say 5. Amazon will be utilizing DSP contractors instead of going through guys like me and you. So go ahead and wean yourself off. Those of you watching this or have watched it or are going to watch it after the live stream is over, 5 years from now, you won't be able to run for Amazon unless you get a contract, or maybe just the rarest cases you'll be able to run for Amazon because they're going to start utilizing DSPs just like they are their vans for their delivery stations. Mark my words, remember it, it'll happen. I have a local DC that moves temp controlled freight for Whole Foods and dry freight for Amazon. All of it is owned by Bezos. Are you familiar with that? What do you mean? So Bezos is actually retired, if you don't know that. But the guy that took over is a monster. Okay, he is a beast in business. His name's Andy. What is his last name? dude's a beast. Okay, he's probably more ambitious than Bezos was. Okay, so Bezos is actually retired. He cashed out and all that good stuff. But the guy that took over is a monster. But I'm not sure what you're saying by all of it is owned by them. Whole Foods did get bought out by Amazon, so yes, I am familiar with that. But does Amazon, are you saying that Amazon trucks are moving the freight only? How do you sign up for DSP? You have to win the contract and you have to have 10,000 just to start trying to get the contract, I'm pretty sure. Rent weekly includes authority, insurance, and 250 daily miles. So you're saying that renting from you will be paid weekly, but you can only drive 250 miles daily? Might want to double that. Might want to double that. And people get your authority and insurance, so you're basically just signing on a driver? Confused. So you're basically just adding a driver to your authority. Leasing on a driver. Is that leasing on to an authority? Is that what you're saying? But the whole 250 daily miles, you might want to double that. Might even say 700 a day. I could do 250 easy. Easy a day. That's very low. Just put this in perspective. The reason why rental companies suck is because, like Ryder, they do like 12 cents per mile up to 1,000 miles. By the second day, I'm already over that. So, just put that in perspective for your 250 daily miles. I'm gonna go start some coffee, but I'm not gonna go off. I'm gonna leave the live running. I'm just gonna go start some water boiling. Hopefully I'll be able to see it from here. Oh, my back, Jesus. Oh, who you use for ELD? I use Keep Trucking, but there are better options out there. There's cheaper, better options. I gotta find that ELD. Just give me a minute and I will. I'm just going to pop my back and make some coffee. Oh my God. I don't know. Oh man, we need a new mattress. My back, boys and girls. I'm only 25, almost 26, and my back is in rough shape. But no maintenance fees when you rent through Enterprise. You know, I'm a heavy believer that you should never rent a box truck. Holy crap. I'm sweating. It's hot in here. I was like, dang, it's sweaty. Let me turn down the heat. Firm believer that if you have to rent, if you can't afford a box truck, if you have to rent, then you're not ready. You just need to keep stacking up your money. Have 50 grand in reserves after you're able to buy a box truck or finance a box truck. Because if you put enough down, you'll be able to finance a box truck. Renting is just, again, would you rather pay $600 a week or would you rather pay $600 a month? My take. And you know, I'll die on this hill. A lot of people are like, you know, you should be more positive, man. Lips are chapped. Let's be more positive, man. I mean, I would rather see people succeed than go in and fail. It just makes no logical sense. It makes no economical sense. It makes no sense to do that. I mean, if that forces people to, you know, not like my type of content, then, you know, that's what I think. I mean, you know, that's where I'm at.
Goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that.
The heck? What is up with these bots? But anyway, what's everybody's goals for the year? What is everybody doing for the year? I asked at the beginning. I know New Year's just happened, so everybody has to have some goals that they want to accomplish this year, surely. It's 4 o'clock already. Holy crap. We are approaching 2 hours on the live stream, though. It's kind of crazy. How does 2 hours go by? Just like, I didn't even notice it. It's like that. One of my major goals this year is to buy another house. We did own one, and then we sold it, and I don't know why I did that. We sold it way before all this happened, all the prices flying and all that stuff, which kind of sucks. That makes sense. Watch me go, GA. Trying to buy a truck this month and get going. I'm in Georgia, so I plan to leave for a few weeks and come back later. Makes sense? And most states will be like that. I mean, most states are going to be, you know, you need to find the best rate you can going out and then make like a big loop. It doesn't have to be the whole U.S. It can be, you know, Georgia, go up a state, go up a state, go up a state, go around, down, 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 and then maybe get a big run going to Florida and then take something, or just deadhead back home. It may be something like that, because Florida's another state that rates are crazy low going out to. You know, that may be what you have to do. But a lot of stuff going to Florida, and a lot of stuff actually going to Georgia from like my state, Kentucky. There's a lot of stuff going down to Atlanta, paying really, really well. Most of the time. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I need coffee. I'll stay alive for a little longer. Oh man, I'm sleepy. Woo! Sorry about that. Do you recommend starting with a dispatcher to learn or just jump into the fire and network along the way? So, I hope you guys can see me. I don't know. I think YouTube just played an ad. So, watch me go, Georgia. I recommend that you start at... It would make no sense not to have a dispatcher starting out. But again, I would try not to pay no more than 7%. I don't know why I got the hiccups right now. But I would try not to pay more than 7% of your load. It's just crazy high. But also, make sure that your terms with them are... they'll probably have you sign something that you can't use another dispatcher or something like that, usually. But tell them that you want to still be able to find your own loads and still be able to do that, because a lot of dispatchers are inconsistent and they might get you a load one day and then not the next, and not the next, then maybe the next day, then not the next. So if they're not a real good dispatcher, but a lot of the real good ones are very overpriced. But make sure you can still find your own loads, and also I would do both. Also find your own and jot down the shipper, receiver, and broker, and build that list and network along the way. That's what I would do. It just makes no sense not to dispatch. Man, this chair's uncomfortable. No problem. Trying to add some value to some people's lives. After 250 free miles per day, 5 cents per mile after, that could probably work with people. Maybe. I don't know. I just still don't like the whole renting option. With you, it's different. You're basically leasing on a driver, so that's not actually renting. You're actually looking to lease a driver on. But if you're looking to do that, you're kind of like combining leasing a driver on with renting. And the problem with that is that why would they lease on under you when they can go drive for somebody else and just have, so much percent of their load go to the owner of the operation. But it could work. It could work. But I see what you're trying to do. It's kind of like mixing both worlds, where they have to pay you to not only get the truck, but the authority and insurance, but also cents per mile, when that's already a thing, but they just take 10% of the loads that they do, and they get their authority and insurance. So why would somebody pay cents per mile and then a flat rate when they can just do 10% of every load? That's where you're going to have trouble with your model. Are there companies that run through the airport? What do you mean? And how was your time working for the guy contracted through the post office? it was the easiest job I've ever had. It paid 24 something an hour. That's what he paid. And I got paid, I mean, it was right at like 7 hours and something, so he paid me for 8 hours a day. The only thing, and the only reason why I quit doing that and started my own company is because it was split shift. So, like, I would have to wake up early. Like, I would have to be at the main post office hub of my area and state and load up at like 4 in the morning. And some drivers had to be there at 1 o'clock because they had to do multiple runs to the same post office during the morning. And while I have one of the later shifts starting at 4, it was still like I would work, drive, go back, and then drive home after I've already drove up there and done, 4 hours of work. Go home, and I'm the type that, like, if I start working, I want to work. Once I'm done, I'm done. But then I would have to come back in the evening and be at the post office, not the hub. I would have to go drive, pick up the box truck, leave my car there, get the box truck, drive to the post office, and be there by 5:30 on the dot. And then you have to be back. You have to load up the return stuff and be back at the hub no later than 6:45 or you get rolled up. That was like the most... Your sleep schedule and everything was just so weird. It was so weird. That's how post office contracts are going to work. You got some dedicated lanes? I do, yes. From local factories. Asking about the airport because I live to a major one in my state. I mean, there are companies that do airport loads. I've just never personally done any, so I can't really say anything about it. %, I would go flatbed, hot shot, 40-foot trailer, CDL. Between those two choices, personally. I could have, man, if I would have done what my mentor did and didn't fall off of that and go box truck, man. The money, man. If I would have started over, man, the money, man. How many routes did my guy have at the post office? So they had basically my whole area. Let's see, I had one route. Man, they had so many routes. Their trucking parking lot was just like full of box trucks. So I mean, I would say at least 10. He most likely had more. So, but I'll say 10, and then he had a few trucks in reserve. But yeah, he had a lot. You talk about consistent income. If you can get a post office contract, whew. But I'll definitely hire a driver because that work is just, that schedule is so weird. You can do it, don't get me wrong. It's just such a weird schedule. Now, if I lived right next to the hub, would be no problem. But where I have to wake up early enough to get up there, and then I had to get my truck and then drive to the hub, it was just like, oh, in the was just terrible. Because there was more traffic. There was traffic. Ugh. You can, Michael, but long run, it's not going to be worth it. You're not going to make as much. If you're going to go non-CDO, might as well get a box truck. I mean, you might as well get a non-CDO reefer box truck. But I would suggest going ahead, getting your CDL. It's going to be worth it, not only in the start, but also long haul, long run. And I would do CDL hotshot 100% if I had to do it over. That's if I wanted something cheaper than semi. But you can find some decent semis for less than a lot of hotshot rigs. I do power only. That's what makes semi so good, is because you don't even have to have a trailer. There's tons of work around me. Really, really, really good work around me, paying really, really good rates. Amazon can't even touch them. And Amazon pays good rates too. I'm talking about like they can't touch them 26 foot wise, but their power only Amazon rates are not bad. But DAT low bore, man, I can't tell you how many times I've found, like, especially like 2 counties over from where I am, crazy rates for having just a semi power only. You just have to pull what they need pulled. Crazy. Alright, y'all, it's 4 o'clock. I have not ate anything. We're 2 hours and 12 minutes in. Thanks for being here. If you're here, appreciate your time. If you've been here the whole time, definitely appreciate your time. If not, it's okay. But I'm going to have to go get something to eat. I'm going to have to make some coffee or something. But yeah. Any last minute questions? If you have a question that you want answered this last minute, if you're watching this recording, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you're still here. That way this live can get out to more people. But I'll stay on 1 more minute. I'll stay till 2:15. You got 2 minutes, a little under 2 minutes to ask your last minute questions if you have any. And then I'll answer them however long that takes. So hit me with a question if you have one. If not, then I will go live sometime later. Not today, but I'm going to start going live more, just hanging out. No problem, Michael. No problem. I love doing it. Love coming out, hanging out with people, answering questions. Because if you have questions, 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to have videos on them or anything. It's going to be hard to find answers to. And this is like the best way to answer questions, is just go live and answer them live and do Ask Me Anything. Less than a minute left. All right. 20 seconds left. I'm not seeing any questions come in, so appreciate everybody's time. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate everybody in the community. I'm doing my research. Don't forget about the nodes. Oh yeah, I will look into that. If I don't, just remind me that next live, because I've got so much stuff going on that I forget to eat. So, a lot of stuff going on. But I will see everybody next time. We are past the 2 hour, 15 minute mark. And peace out. Thanks for watching.